everybody, this is Christopher Kelly, managing producer of entertainment for NJ.com, joined once again by our food dude, Pete Genovese,
what's up?
For our weekly video chat about New Jersey's Week in Food. Pete, it's the middle of the summer, and you got a buttered roll.
You cringed on my buttered roll.
No, I looked at it for those.
Welcome to New Jersey.
For those watching at home, I sort of glanced at it and I thought, is that a bagel? But it turns out to be a roll, and it's Pete's breakfast, even though it's late in the afternoon.
I never miss breakfast. Ever miss breakfast. You can have your lunch. Take your kale and that other stuff you eat for
lunch.
Take that kale away from
arugula nonsense. Yeah. I'll have a buttered roll.
Give me a butter roll.
Well, let's talk about pizza. Pizza, always a popular topic, but what makes this particular week interesting is that last week there was a new list of the country's 101. They always like to mix it up, these lists.
They try to be
101 best pizzerias in the country. New Jersey had 4 showings.
4, yeah. It was Daily Meal, and there are endless lists like this. I always cringe when I see, top 50 burger places, top this, top that, because there's really no research. They just sort of, whoever has the rep, whoever has the credibility, let's throw them on the list, and next year we'll maybe tweak it a little bit. But this is a Daily Meal, which everyone knows, the food website. They had judges from around the country. They have some sort of online survey. So there was some, and some very high, well-known chefs thrown in there, food bloggers, et cetera, et cetera. They didn't ask me, but that's next year. They promised. Okay, whatever.
Come on, Daily Eater.
But what was different is that New Jersey had 4. We always either not mention it all, maybe we squeak in one. They do top 100, and we're like 98 or something.
Hanging on to the end.
Yeah. Next year, so we got 4, and
now, what was the highest ranked?
Papa's in Robbinsville, number 12.
That's a very high rank. We're talking the entire United States.
And they're the oldest. A lot of people don't know they're the oldest pizzeria in the country.
Wow.
Oldest continuously operating pizzeria in the country, which puts Lombardi's in New York claims to be the oldest pizzeria, but they closed up for a year or two back in the 80s. So Papa's in Robbinsville, used to be in Trenton. The oldest continuously operating pizzeria. They've been around since the 20s. So they're number 12, and they were Di Lorenzo's was 39. Brooklyn Pizzeria in Hackensack was 72nd, and Star Tavern, everyone knows Star Tavern, Thin Crust Pizza was 82nd. So the point was, we just got a comment.
We got a comment from the Peanut Gallery. Someone doesn't like Star Tavern.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll be there. We're doing Thin Crust Pizza on the Munchmobile Saturday, so likely we'll be there.
So I have a couple of questions here, though. So
New Jersey did well.
New Jersey did well. As you said, there are a million of these lists. Do you think these lists, the daily meals, the eaters, there's a Yahoo. Do you think New Jersey's kind of starting to push its way a little more into this list?
No, this is an anomaly. But chalk this under anomaly because there'll be another list in a few months, the best for National Pizza Month, and we won't get any on. So I think what made this different, as I said, I think what the difference here is that they did have panelist judges from around the country. Unfortunately, again, New York is top 101. They had 30, I think, from New York City.
Wow.
I mean, come on, or 23. I'm sorry. Last year they had it in the 30s. They're based in New York. Most of their people are in New York, of course, New York. And I'm not going to, New York City is the center of the pizza universe. Of course it is. But still, 23 in New York City, 4 in Jersey, but as many people live in Jersey as they do in New York City. So this should be, come on.
And these lists are kind of perpetuating this notion that New Jersey
there's no there.
There's New York City, there's Philadelphia, and New Jersey is just a big gray space that you pass through. So but we'll take the credit where we can get it.
Yeah, I guarantee you there's nobody living in New Jersey that were among the judges.
Sure.
I guarantee that. And number 1 on the list was, or actually Frank Pepe's in New Haven was number 1. I think they're overrated, but whatever. And then 2 others, DeFar and Roberta's, 2 well-known pizzerias in New York. Number 4 was Pizzeria Mozza in Los Angeles. Why is it on the list? Well, who are the owners? Lydia Bastanich and Mario Batali. Well, hello. Of course they're going to be high on the list, everybody. I guarantee you half the people who voted have never been there. But Mario owns it, must be good. So, nothing against Mario, the pride of New Brunswick, but
there's let's face it.
So that's why they're there.
There's no good pizza in California. I don't care who runs it.
It's probably vegetarian, which of course you.
Oh, it's just pretentious.
Why did I mention that? Because now you're going to go off on a riff.
No, they put the California pizza. They put some broccoli and avocado.
I made a snide comment on this about one of the. The Pizzeria Mozza. So there was particular pizzas that were mentioned, so squash blossoms, and I said in my comments only in LA, and somebody jumped on me like, if you shouldn't be writing about food, and you shouldn't be writing about Italian food. So my retort was, should I change my last name also while I'm at it?
Right.
Yeah. So
I will say though, I've had
squash blossoms.
I'm going to be a total hypocrite.
Okay,
I've had squash blossom pizza on pizza
in New York,
in Texas actually. Fantastic.
Texas, a well-known pizza.
Well, listen,
stronghold.
They try to do that sort of pretentious California thing. It's delicious.
Right.
But generally, whatever. If it's from California,
keep an open mind next time.
Who needs pizza from there? But I want to shift back to your pizza ranking. So we have our own, New Jersey pizza rankings, top 25. How many of the 4 that were on the national list were on your list?
3 of the 4. 3 of the 4 made it. Yeah. So there was some credit. Like I said, there was some credibility. I would have argued, some play like Papa's. Di Lorenzo's, which is number 2 on my list on the Pizza Power rankings, I would say they're definitely better than Papa's. I love Papa's, but again, I think some of it was the history and the other Brooklyn Pizzeria I've been there. Star Tavern, despite what the cameraman says, I think is still Jersey's gold standard for thin crust. We may be proven otherwise when we go Saturday on the Munchmobile. We may find other better thin crust, but right now. So yeah, so 3 of their 4 are on my 25 best pizzerias. But still number 1 on my list is Santillo in Elizabeth.
So Daily Meal needs to get Pete here on.
Well, then I heard from the founder a couple months ago, and he had said I sent you with the email, but apparently it was in his junk.
Oh,
he never
likely.
sent it.
That old story.
That's what he said.
My alimony check is still on the way.
He said, we wanted you to be on this. You have to be on this. So next year will maybe be another.
I tell that to each of my 3 ex-wives every week. Yeah, you'll get your check. I sent it. It went into your spam, please. Pete, I would think you're a little tired of eating pizza, but you're going to go out on Saturday onto the Munchmobile. You're going to take a crew of NJ.com readers out with you,
right.
And you're going to do thin crust pizza. Why so narrow? Why so specific?
Because we've done all that. We've done pizza in general. It's always good to be focused. It gives me a chance to be focused for once or twice in my life. So on Munchmobile, I'm focused.
How thin is thin?
Well, in Jersey, here's the thing: New York City does it. There are very few places that have a true thin crust. What New York considers thin crust, New Jersey would laugh at, because our thin crust is seriously thin. It's like that sometimes cracker crust or sort of a plain crust, but really, really thin, thinner like half as thin as that. I'm seriously thin. So it's a kind of a New Jersey thing, because in New York City it's very hard to find true what we would consider, New Jersey would consider thin crust pizza. So and we're going to bring in big names. We're bringing in Star. I'm sure we'll visit Spiritos in Elizabeth. I'm sure we'll visit Di Lorenzo's would be in the running. Pete and Elda's, not a favorite of mine, but they'll down the shore will be. So we got big names. These are big names, big pizza names. So it's kind of it makes for a nice showdown. Nice classic pizzeria showdown.
Anything in particular when you bite into that thin crust? Are you looking for that crispy crunch, or what's the sort of specifics of the bite?
I'm a sauce guy, so I'm looking at sauce. Also, sauce, quality of the cheese, quality of the sauce. Is it overcooked, undercooked? That's always a big pizza factor. Undercooked, overcooked. Now, Star does burn their pizza a little bit, and that's what probably turns off people because there's a little char thing, which I like, as long as it's not overdone. So that's why some people are turned off by Star, but again, yeah, crunch is big. But again, crust can be different. The only thing common about thin crust pizza across all thin crust pizzas is how thin it is. Otherwise, it's the crust can be different. Type of sauce, type of cheese, toppings. I'm sure we'll do plain pizzas. We'll do some sausage. We will not do, if I have anything to do with it, we will not do pepperoni on this trip. Why? Because pepperoni.
I've heard this before.
Yes, you hear.
I've heard it before.
Say it again. The world's most popular topping is the world's most boring and predictable.
We should have that as a motto in the background.
Same. You're getting the same pepperoni. 95% of the pepperoni you get on pizzas in this part of the country, it's the same pepperoni. It's the same slice, right out of the can, right out of the big plastic tub. It's the same. So every once in a while you run across a pizzeria that makes their own pepperoni, and then fine, then I'll go visit.
Instead of pepperoni, squash blossoms.
If I find it, I'll put it
really,
up, put it in the FedEx box and ship it to you so you get it. Right,
do a white pie with squash blossoms.
They'll probably call the cops. If I ask for squash blossoms on a Jersey pizza, they'll call the police. They'll call
Get this guy out of here.
They'll think there's something wrong with me.
Who does he think he is? Let's switch gears. Last week on the Munchmobile, you went down to the shore and sampled a great deal of ice cream.
Yep.
How many places?
Well, we did 6 the first day, and the thing about Munchmobile, it's a one day, and a lot of people misinterpret. They think I'm driving around all summer, every day of the week. Why don't you do more places? Well, the fact of the matter is, we only have one day to do this with the crew. So and we only got as far as Manahawk and LBI. So I figured I've got to I pitched this as a shore, best of the shore ice cream. So let's do the rest of the shore. Let's not ignore the southern shore. So I went on my own a second day and hit all Wildwood. And not Ocean City, Cape May, and a few other places. So it was a true showdown, Sandy Hook to Cape May.
And you were sampling what flavors? I mean,
with the crew, the first time, we basically did 8 flavors at each place. So it was standard. And I told them at the beginning, I don't care how many flavors you do, just try to keep it the same number at each place. So they were doing 8, so they were ordering different cups, and we were all sampling each other, sticking spoons in each other's ice cream. So it was 8 flavors, and I continued that when I went on my own. I did 8 flavors. I looked a little odd, one guy with 8 flavors of ice cream in front of him, and some people, a couple people came up to me, "What are you doing? Why do you have all this ice cream? Do you have kids? Are you hiding the kids somewhere?"
Did you tell them to mind their own business?
Oh, jeez. I tell them what I'm doing. I pitch NJ.com, tell them what I'm doing.
Pete, why don't you do this? Yeah. Why don't, when you walk into the ice cream store, ask for 8 little samples and then not order anything? Would that be rude? Those little sample.
Well, I
spoons.
did.
Those little.
Like I said,
I want to try that one.
Because you always sometimes want to take a second or a third or a fourth scoop. So I ordered the smallest possible, like the little baby cups. Sometimes some ice cream places don't allow adults to do the baby cup, but I sort of explained what I was doing, and a couple of places said, "Yeah, well, that's fine. We'll give you the baby cups." So.
There's a very funny Curb Your Enthusiasm set at an ice cream shop, which I highly recommend. Maybe our cameraman can find a clip from that and edit that in.
One person, this is many years ago, swore they absolutely were convinced I was Larry David. I'm like, I was playing a softball game, came up to me and pointed at me, "You're him." I'm like, who him, who? Larry David. Like, you gotta be kidding. I don't even look like, even then. I mean, I did have a little hair, so I had to sort of like Larry David did. But
Did you explain to him if you had Larry?
She said, "I know you're making that up. I know you're him. I know you're him." And I said, "No, I'm not. Seriously, what am I doing on a softball field in New Brunswick playing softball?
Driving around in a big hot dog mobile."
No,
come on.
This is before the hot dog.
That is interesting. Okay, so the single best flavor you tasted all day, what was it?
The single best, actually, I'll give you 2 or 3, and this will shock you. Wait for we'll have a little cue for the shock.
I feel my heart starting to race.
The vegan Almond Joy. Actually, our winner was Cookman Creamery in Asbury Park, a place that's only been in business for a couple of years. They beat out some of these big names like Duffers, like Springer's, and which are both perfectly fine ice cream. Okay, but Cookman Creamery was the best, and I thought their vegan Almond Joy, all their. I mean, that's why they were number 1, and all the munchers agreed. But the vegan Almond Joy, if you blindfolded me and you gave it to me. Well, it's so good. That's vegan. I said, no, it isn't. That's like real ice cream.
Okay,
it tasted like real ice cream.
Pete, let me break this down.
Let
me break this down. I got to break this down for the listeners.
Yeah.
Anything vegan is disgusting. Almond Joys.
There goes our vegan
Almond Joys
audience.
Equally disgusting.
What do you think it's Almond Joys?
Oh, awful. They're just that's a nasty candy bar. Just disgusting.
The absolute favorite candy in my childhood.
That is just
Mounds Bar, which is like the cousin to Almond Joy. Mounds with the coconut and the chocolate.
Nasty almond in it. No, disgusting. So you combine disgusting and disgusting. How do you get a good ice cream flavor out of this?
Because I have taste, which clearly people at this table don't. So it's Almond Joy. So, but all their flavors, like I said, and the
vegan. What do they replace them? They use like an almond milk or coconut.
Okay.
Well, fair enough. That's not that complicated.
Highly, and like I said, you would not know. Just go there. And like I said, the regular, it wasn't just vegan. The regular ice cream, just very creamy, soft, smooth, rich, and it hit all the ice cream buttons. So they were, and I had a couple of really good chocolates. This place down in Cape May, or outside of Cape May, Vanilla Bean, which has always been my favorite place. Their chocolate was really good. Actually, their chocolate mint chip was definitely the best chocolate mint chip of the whole trip. So that was outside Cape May, Vanilla Bean.
Any of these sort of like trendy artisanal flavors, like basil tomato, nothing off that.
Not down the shore, because you're catering to you're catering to sort of that day tripper type thing, and the kids aren't going to have the basil, arugula, kale. If you want to go, there are places like that. The Ben Spoon is probably the best known in Princeton. Mm-hmm. They're best known for that. They do the chocolate and the vanilla, whatever. But they do sort of the off the wall stuff, and they really had a reputation for that. But there's no place like that down the shore. Got it.
All right. Well, so the Munchmobile is going to continue out during the summer. Pizza this week. Got some other things lined up during the summer. But Pete, for anybody who's hung around through the video, I want to give them a little treat at this point. And ask you to explain to them what happened last week with the Munchmobile.
What happened? I ate a lot of ice cream.
My understanding was there was a little bit of a crisis.
There was no crisis.
No crisis at all?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Pete is obfuscating right now. There was a little bit. You were a little bit drunk on ice cream.
I was not drunk.
Driving under the influence of ice cream.
I was not drunk.
Yeah. The Munchmobile, you ran over somebody.
I didn't run
No, that's not true. I'm totally exaggerating.
Are we talking about food here? Okay.
Now, people want to know that you're human.
Yes.
And that sometimes if you're driving around with a big hot dog on your truck,
backed into something.
You occasionally get into a little fender bender.
Yes, it was.
But we've got
next week's food chat. We dig up I get the personnel file on him.
Come on.
Is it true that
Hey,
on August 19th, 1987.
Have you dug up my list of traffic infractions? We'd be here for weeks.
I won't be talking about traffic. We'll be digging up the dirt.
Whatever. Things happen on the Munchmobile. You back into somebody.
They never happen on the Munchmobile.
You didn't run over any kittens or anything like that.
We've never. I'm proud of this, and I'll say this since you're on the subject and clearly want to dwell on this. In 18 years of the Munchmobile, we have never had an accident with the van, with people inside the van, ever.
Right. I mean, you were just parking it.
I was by myself.
Yeah.
There's never, with munchers on board, there's never been an accident.
Yeah, no, it's perfectly safe.
And that's a pretty good record, I think. 18 years.
And our insurance is paid for. Everybody's, we think. No, well, of course we are.
And believe me, Saturday driving on the Parkway, forget about it. I mean, there are people, and the people who come right up to me and take pictures, and they're veering into my lane. I mean, I have to.
No, it's tough.
Yeah.
I shouldn't.
In fact, I think you should be the guest driver.
I shouldn't laugh.
I'm gonna go
well, then we really would kill somebody.
I'm going to go to Lamar. Next summer, I think you should fill in for
I shouldn't. I don't mean to make fun of a traffic accident, but it's just funny to me when I picture someone in their car watching and
just got hit by a giant hot dog.
And they just got hit by a giant hot dog. I mean, that's got to be an awkward conversation, an awkward exchange of insurance information.
Actually, it went well. We waited a while for the cop of the driver. I mean, he was cool. And we actually spent about 45 minutes waiting for the cop talking about food. Once he found out who I was, we were exchanging, we were talking about my best hot dog list, which had just come out, and he had I mentioned this place in North Wildwood, and he didn't like it, and then I was sort of defending it, and then we both agreed on, I was telling him, and he was asking me, where do I go here, where do I go there, and I said, go online, you can check out all these places, so some good came of it.
All's well that ends well. And I saved that for the end of the conversation because it's only really for the diehard fans who really like to keep up with all the twists and turns of Pete's journey.
If only they knew about the rest of my life.
Well, that could be a tough.
It's the reality show next.
Next week's edition. In all seriousness, another great week for NJ Food. And he'll be back on the road, trying some pizza, finishing his breakfast bagel in the middle of the afternoon.
It's
still not a bagel; it's still a roll. There's no roll inside.
Does that look even remotely like a bagel? I rest my case.
Fair enough. Until next time, this is Christopher Kelly,
Pete Genovese
for NJ.com.